Hello. Oops. Mm. Hi, Stevie. Hi, Michael. Hi, Terry. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Oops. I don't have glasses on, so I'm trying to turn up my light, my volume. I keep hitting Google. Okay, there. Hmm? All right. Anything going on that anybody wanted to ask about or report about? As I was getting ready for today, I was just thinking about the accumulation of showing up all the time and practicing. And I was with my physical therapist the other day, and he made a comment to me. He said, "You're so strong." And I thought, wow, well, that's all of the days that I show up, even the days that are harder, where you think, oh, should I? Or for me, when I'm traveling and I need to arrange special things in order to teach in different locations. But it's that accumulation of showing up time and time again, taking care of our body, moving our joints, applying the forces that will develop strength in our muscles, our bones, and our joints, and keeping us strong and healthy. So showing up and doing this movement over and over and over every day for the rest of our lives is what we need to do. And there's a benefit. It's really helpful for keeping us strong and allowing us to do the things we want to do. So just a little bit today about that. All right, so if there is not anything in particular, one other thing, when I looked at the email that came out today for this class and I called it Yoga for Stress Reduction, I'm going to change that name. This used to be called Yoga Basics for Restorative Yoga. It was 2 classes that I taught live on Saturday mornings, and I meshed it into one class, and I called it Yoga for Stress Reduction. You know why? Because it started in March 2020, and there was a need for that because there was so much going on when it comes to stress. So I am going to rename this class. I'm going to call it, I think, Yoga for Healthy Aging, or Yoga Therapy for Healthy Aging. And that's what it's going to be called. So not that it will change or that I will change, but rather I just think that that name, we are reducing stress. We're reducing stress in our joints. We're reducing the stress of aging in our body. But I think that everybody will go to the mind. And so, yes, we're going to be using stress and managing stress, making stress our friend and reducing it. But really, yoga for healthy aging. Good morning, Carolyn. Good title. All right, Michael. Perfect. Got the okay from Michael. All right. Let me go back to my position. Here we are. Ready for whatever comes our way, and be open for that, especially for those of you that have issues in your tissues. If you have an injury or an issue, pay particular attention to the range of motion in that joint, because most pain is in joints, right? We have knee issues, hip issues, back issues. And even though with the spine, it's not necessarily the lumbar spine where the issues are, it's usually the muscles. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So with the low back, it's not necessarily the actual spine, but it is the shape of the spine. It's typically the curve. It's naturally in an extension curve, and sometimes that gets deeper. But the thing about the low back, or the reason why the low back, it's the largest bones of the vertebra or the lumbar spine, the 5 bones. They're the largest bones, and they're really built for structure. So there isn't a lot of movement. That right there is really what holds up the fort, holds up what's above and what's below. So those 5 lumbar bones stacked in a position, they don't have a lot of range of motion. They move in flexion and extension and laterally, but the rotational joints, the facet joints on the lumbar spine, are not for rotation. It's meant to be more stable. So with low back, then it becomes more muscular. It's the muscles that mobilize the mid part of the trunk or stabilize the trunk. So much of the pain and discomfort we experience is in the joints. So I'd like you today to actually pay attention when you're moving, especially if you close your eyes and you could go there, and when they're open to look, what is the range of motion? Where are the hurdles? Where are the blocks? If you were on a track, where do you see those hurdles for you? Because sometimes the tissues get stuck or get hard. They become like physical hurdles. They calcify. And so we can actually get them in the position before they turn there and start to move them. So the movement of the practice, and they try not to move away from a sticky part, because maybe you're going to dislodge that sticky part and get back to a great range of motion. So that'll be one thing today, is to really pay attention to your joints. The best way to do that is to close your eyes and to go inside. This is a moving meditation practice. This is self-care, you connected to you. So really make it be that you commit that here you are and you're going to be in your body for the next hour plus, paying attention. So for that, let's gather our thoughts, bring our thoughts here. We are going to need a strap and a block for today's practice, and we are going to need a blanket. We're going to begin with a little bit of coming to this moment. So let's prepare ourselves on our blanket. The ideal position, well, ideal for many, but not for all, would be to put a blanket on the ground and a block between your tushy and sit on like this. And then you have to modify according to whatever is going on for you in your body, because it's either going to allow you to do that or not. And then this is a first piece of raised awareness for many of you. What's happening to your knee joint? What's happening to your hip joint? What's happening to your low back joints? And then close your eyes. So if you can come into a kneeling position, then there still may be a sense there. There may be something talking to you in your body. Paying attention to your knees, your hips, your low back. In this position, whatever you've chosen, it may be a crisscross leg position. You may be sitting on a block and having your legs crisscross because that's the best for your body. Or you may have been able to come into a kneeling position. It doesn't matter. Not one is better, but one is better for you, and that's what matters. So find yourself in the seated position. Bring your awareness from here, closing your eyes. What's happening to the joints of the middle spine, behind the heart, towards the upper back? Do you feel rounding in them? Be an observer, not trying to change, not trying to judge. No judgment, just observation. Where are your shoulders? The front tip of your shoulders. Do you feel that the right is more forward than the left? Do you feel that they are forward? Or are they lined up with your ears? And then if you were to be able to see yourself from the front, do you feel that one shoulder is higher than the other? Bring your awareness to the shoulder blades at the back of your body. Are they in their home on your back? Or do you feel them drawing away from the center of the spine? Don't change them, just notice. Where are your elbows? Is one more forward than the other? Bring your awareness to your neck spine. The front of the spine, the front of the neck, the back of the spine, back of the neck, and the sides, right and left. Do you notice anything? Eyes are closed. If your eyes were open, would they be looking exactly straight ahead, or are they slightly off to the right or slightly to the left? There's a natural holding pattern posturally in our skeleton. Can you detect it with your eyes closed? Turning your eyes inward, inner eyeballs, searching your body, noticing. And notice now what's happening to your head. Where is your head? Don't move it. Is it slightly tilted forward, slightly tilted downward? Is it slightly off to one side? Even without seeing, we can feel and notice. Bring your awareness down to your low back. How does it feel? It's been managing the weight of your upper body now for a few minutes. What do you notice? What about your belly? Does it feel like it's poofing out? What's the natural relaxation set point for you posturally right now in your body? Bring your awareness to your tushy. Push your buttocks strongly into whatever they're on. If they're on a block, push those bones into the block. Push the tailbone down. From there, slide your elbows back so that they are underneath your shoulders and slightly even more back. Feel the shoulder blades moving towards the center of the spine. Now bring your awareness to your belly button. Push your belly button back as if you're pushing it up against the front of the spine gently. Bring your awareness to your low ribs, the lower part of your rib cage, and align the lower opening of your rib cage with the top opening of your pelvis. Eyes are closed. Feel it, find it. Bring your awareness now up to your spine, the whole spine, get tall. Bring length into your spine. Bring your shoulders back and then push them down so the shoulder blades are moving down towards the spine, down towards the pelvis. Slightly 1/2 inch movement. Push your chin down and back so that there's a length that comes into your upper back and neck. And even if it was a 1/2 inch pushing down and back, it's almost as if you just grew an inch taller. Eyes are closed. Breathe with the mouth closed into the rib cage. Wide, back, up, down, front, back. Press your elbows towards your body to help protect your posture. Now breathe down to your belly. Keep your rib cage quiet. Can you keep your ribs not moving at all except for the bottom rim of the ribs? Let your awareness go up and down your body. Notice the postural muscles in your body and the back of your body working. Notice what it takes itself to manage the weight of the head. Now push the elbows back, push the shoulder blades back, and imagine behind you is a posture hook on the wall. And as you push yourself back, slightly tuck your chin down, lift yourself up about 1 inch as if you were putting yourself on a posture hook the way you would hang a jacket up on a hook. And then notice, are you a little farther back? How does that feel? And what do you feel below your ribs and your belly? Top part of the diaphragm or the top part of the psoas activating. And these muscles are attached to the low back. Push your belly button to your spine. Take one more breath. Noticing what you're noticing without judgment. Take your hands down alongside your body. Palms turn to the side. Exhale. As you inhale, slowly let your hands go to the side. Keep them as far back and to the side as you can. Your whole inhale, finally your hands reach each other at the top of your head, the crown of your head, and then draw them down to your heart as you exhale. Inhale, hands are out, palms are up, reach up. Find your hands above your head. Exhale, draw your hands down to your heart. Keep moving with breath. Eyes are closed. Reach a little higher, a little wider. Wherever you are, finish that one and take one more, letting your hands rest at your heart. Palms are together. Now push your hands strongly to your heart and your heart strongly to your hands, and see how that brings a release and a relief to the shoulder blades between the spine and your upper body holding on to your head, managing your head. And then blink your eyes open. So joint alignment is really important to maintaining health and pain, future pain, warding off future pain. So notice where you feel the tension right now. More than likely, you feel upper back and neck because we've been in the seated upright position and having our body manage this for a few minutes. And it's a challenge. So all of those elbows back, elbows underneath the shoulders, pushing into your body, head back up on that posture hook. Try to do that throughout the day because that was a stacked, aligned spine. And wherever you feel the tension is an indication of areas that you need to strengthen in order to perfect your posture, because that'll help with future pain in the spine, future pain in the upper back and neck, really help with shoulder health, because if you are forward and rounded and your shoulders come forward, this excessive weight of the humerus bone forward tears the tendons of the rotator cuff. And that's not good. So if we can have our shoulder blades and our back active, holding us up, and our arms here, and just think about how challenging this was if you were doing all of that. I mean, I have really good posture. I practice this all the time, and I feel the activation of my rhomboids and middle traps, getting that aligned position, really working to maintain that, and eyes closed to really feel it versus looking in a mirror to see it. So work on your posture. One of the most valuable aspects of healthy aging is properly stacked joints. All right, let's come down. So we did actually have a major integration there. We did use breath there. I typically start on the ground to integrate mind and body, but there was so much somatic grounding there. We're going to use that as our entry, as our breath, as our connection to self. And then noticing if you were able to feel the breath in the rib cage and then to isolate it down here. If you were able to not feel it here anymore that much, and mostly here, then you were activating the primary breathing muscle, the diaphragm. All great skills then to affect your biochemistry and your physiology. And so for health metabolically and internally, breath being a very important component of that. So let's go down on the ground. We'll start off a little mellow using breath here. What I really would like to say is that when you're on the ground, your pubic bone is right here at the base of your torso. If you push the pubic bone into the ground, if you're able to get this action in your pelvis, it's called a posterior pelvic tilt. If you're able to contract your tushy cheeks and draw your tailbone down, try that here. Try to do a little, the words you may use are tucking your pelvis. It's moving the pelvis. This actually helps with that low back curve, and that low back curve, wherever it is going to help to give relief to low back. It's how we stretch the low back muscles. When we come into a posterior tilt, we're pulling the top of the pelvis farther away from the bottom of the rib cage, stretching the muscles of the low back. So this posterior tilt can be really relieving for low back. It also gives a break to the hips and to the knees when we do that. So try that coming into posterior tilt. We're going to come onto our bellies, starting off a little bit with some breath, breathing to our belly, and using the pubic bone to push down towards the ground. So bring your blanket a little farther back onto your mat. So you're not quite in the middle of your mat, you're maybe at the lower third of your mat. And then bring yourself onto all fours. Let your spine relax. Now you have to work muscularly to support your head because it weighs about 10 pounds on average. So can you spread your fingers? Can you keep your head as an extension of your spine and you're managing it with muscles in the upper back? And then the wrists are being weight bared on. So we're going to strengthen the bones of the wrists and the lower arm bones. Spread your fingers and then rock forward and backwards a little because this will give you a little relief to get away from the wrists, but it also starts to warm up the hip joint and stretch the glute muscles, the biggest muscles in the body. And we need them to be strong because they help to manage posture and alignment in our body. And then bring yourself up. Bend fingers, bend your hand, move your hands around, feel the stretch in your body. I like to start off with a plank. It's a nice way to start. We'll go down on the belly in a second, but let's start off while we're here. Take your feet as wide as your mat and your hands as wide as your mat. So come really wide in your plank today. If you need your lower body on the ground, keep your knees on the ground, keep your knees spread, and then your hands are spread. And then contract your tushy or tilt your pelvis in this position, or try to. It's a very small movement, and see how it brings some relief into the low back. Push through the heels, so you're stretching your calves, and then push your pinky toes into the mat a lot. Take one more breath. Bring your knees onto your blanket pretty far back. Flip your toes under. Keep your hands forward, and then bring your body weight forward. Bend your elbows in towards your body. Go slow here. And bring yourself all the way down onto the ground. Move back so that your pelvis goes onto the blanket. And then bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Lengthen your legs, toenails are touching the floor. Spread your hands. Now pull your rib cage away from your pelvis. Push into the floor. Push away from the floor. Feel the belly stretch here. Exhale. Inhale, slowly look up and over. So let your nose go up in the air and back towards your heels, feeling the stretch in the belly. Back to center, exhale, inhale, up and over, and back. So you could have your eyes open at first to notice how far back can you see when you look. Do you see the heel? Do you see both feet? And then on the other side, do you feel more tension, one side versus the other? Then close your eyes if you'd like. Continuing to strengthen those upper back and neck muscles. So if you're noticing a little tension, you're working your posture, strengthening your posture. One more each side. And then bring yourself back to center. Long spine. Take your elbows out to the side. Fold the hands one on top of each other. Let your forehead rest on the back of your hands. And breathe down to your belly. Try to keep the rib cage quiet. Direct the breath down to your belly. See if you could feel yourself stretching your core muscles, your back muscles with your breath.
Take one more breath. So we're going to start to strengthen the back. Thinking about your back, you've got 5 lower back bones, 12 that are attached to the ribs, 7 that are the neck. That's your spine. And then in your pelvis, you have your sacrum and your coccyx bone. There's 26 vertebrae. We're going to strengthen our back using the muscles of the back to shorten and lift you up. Try to get shorter from the middle of the back of the head to the base of your tailbone. We're going to bend the spine into itself, pushing the bones into themselves. Let your awareness be there. Use the pubic bone to push to the ground to add a little bit of that posterior tilt so that not everything goes to the lumbar spine, the low back. So try to bring a little flexion or neutral into your low back so that we can use it elsewhere. And really think about the back that's attached to the ribs. We want to try to bend that part of your spine as much as possible. So elbows are wide and far away from your body. Hands are folded. Forehead reaches, neck is long. Forehead rests on top of the back of the hands. Push your toenails into the ground. Your kneecaps could be active here and move away from resting, moving into more of a working position. Exhale. As you inhale, lift yourself up, push your nose away as if you were pushing a marble away, and try to bend the upper spine as you bring yourself up. Notice where you feel this. Exhale to lower. Go slow. Articulate your spine, cervical spine and thoracic. You push a marble away with your nose. You lift your head up. You push into the ground with your arms as high as you can, and exhale to lower. On this last one, stay here. Push your arms into the ground. Your eyes are closed. Your chin is forward. Your throat is open. You feel a lot of tension maybe at the upper back where the head attaches to your body. Strengthening those muscles, holding the head in this position. Strengthening postural muscles. Push your heart forward. Take one more breath. And then bring your head down, rest. Breathe to your belly. Bring your arms alongside you. Your elbows are coming right off from your shoulders. Your hands are wide, maybe even off your mat. Your wrists are stacked above your elbows. And then lift your head up, lengthen the back of your neck, lengthen your torso. Put your forehead down onto the ground. Exhale. Inhale, lift your head forward and up, bending a little bit more in your thoracic spine where your ribs are attached. So close your eyes. You want your neck spine and your cervical spine to bend. Push your pubic bone into the ground to protect your low back. You inhale to rise. And you exhale to lower. Feel it. Go slow. Feel all that stretches and all that contracts. On this next one, you're going to bring yourself up, head lifts, neck spine bends, thoracic spine bends. Stay here. Push your arms into the ground. Push your heart forward a lot. Slide the shoulder blades towards the spine. Long neck. Don't let your shoulders come up to your ears. Push your pubic bone into the ground to protect your low back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Fold your hands, take a breath. Breathe to your low back and help to stretch it. Moving on. Take your hands alongside your body. You may want to look. You have your hands alongside your body on the ground, so you might need to move your blanket. Palms are on the ground, right beside your body, probably about top of the pelvis height. Fingers are pointing backwards. Elbows are pressing in towards your body. Bring the big toes to touch. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Lift your head up, lengthen your neck, and then put the forehead onto the ground. Exhale. As you inhale, push your hands into the ground, lift your body up, and then exhale to lower. Now you're going to feel this down farther in your back, lower back muscles involved. Push the pubic bone in, inhale to lift, close your eyes, feel it. Experience the work of your back here, strengthening your posture muscles. Don't let it just be your head and neck. So keep your head as an extension of your torso. The next one, you're going to come up and hold. And then bring yourself down. Fold your hands. Let's bend the knees back and forth, side to side. Definitely more in the low back on that one. You may feel that. Let your feet flop passively. So you allow relaxation in your body, letting the psoas muscle release its hold on your lumbar spine and let it relax. So you want it to be passive because you want the upper femur bone to roll so that the end of the psoas is moving and you're shaking release or gently bringing release into the psoas because it's attached to your lumbar spine. And then bring your feet back. We're going to come into Cobra, which is a bigger version of back bend. This is all back bending, spinal extension. So make sure it feels okay for you. Go up as high as you can appropriately, bending the spine, doing a lot of work for the back muscles. Make sure that it feels okay. Bring your hands, thumbs are on the mat, fingers are off. You're about armpit height, or you may need to put your hands a little far forward. So you'll determine what's the best for you. Slide your shoulder blades towards the spine. Lengthen your spine, forehead touches. Push your hands into the floor and try to drag your hands back towards your feet. You'll feel that in your back. You'll feel a release. It feels nice. Exhale. As you inhale, push your hands down, push your toes into the floor. Lift your body up. Bend your back and feel it bending. Exhale to lower. You get a little higher here. Feel yourself bending backwards. Close your eyes so you can go to the safe place. On the next one, come up and stay. When you're here, take your hands off. If you lowered down, stay where you lowered to, then put your hands down. Push your hands into the ground and slide them back and draw your rib cage forward. Push your pubic bone towards the ground. Take one more breath. Lengthen, bring your hands back. Bend your knees side to side. Relax your low back. Take your legs a little wider here. And then bring your legs straight. Keep your left hand folded. Keep your forehead on your left hand. Take your right hand out to the side, straight off from your armpit. And then bend the elbow, lift the hand off the ground, palm faces downward. Inhale, fingers reach away. Exhale, elbow towards your waist. Inhale, hand is away as far as you can. Exhale, elbow to the waist. Keep moving with breath. Push your pubic bone towards the ground. Your core stabilizing muscles are active here. You're working the upper back, shoulder blade area, posture muscles. One more. And then bring your hand, let's switch to the other side. Bring the left hand out, bending the elbow. Lift the hand off the ground, palm is down. Inhale, hand moves away. Exhale, elbow towards the waist. Palm is facing downwards. Push the pubic bone towards the ground. Be aware of your low back here. And then bring yourself down. Bring your forehead to the ground. Bring both hands out to the side. Push your pubic bone towards the ground strongly. Exhale. Inhale, lift your hands up. Exhale, elbows towards the waist. Inhale, arms reach away. Palms are down. Exhale. And if you want to lift your head off the floor, if that feels a little bit better, try that or keep it down. Keep your hands lifting as far away from the ground as you can. Last one. Bend your hands one on top of the other. Bend your legs, let them be wide, and let your feet flop side to side. And then let your legs go straight. Let's stretch the neck. So lift your head up, turn your head to the right. So let your left cheek touch the ground. Bring your hands down alongside your body and let your shoulders roll forward. Now, if it feels too much tension in the upper back and neck, you could take the right hand out to the side, palms down. And if you still need more relief, bend your elbow. So this would be tightness in the upper back and neck area. If you felt tightness there, let your feet be pretty wide. Breathe to your belly. Notice your low back. It definitely was working. So you're going to feel the low back working, trying to stabilize, lifting your trunk away from the floor the way we did. Take one more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, chin to chest, lift your head up, turn your head the opposite direction. Right cheek goes onto the ground. Let your shoulders round forward. Try to get your right cheek and ear to touch. Take one more breath. Take your hand, reach your hand up, and come onto your side. Notice your low back here, the back of your body. You could open your eyes. Take your hand into the ground. Push yourself and bring yourself up. And then notice how you feel. So we were working a lot of our spinal and postural muscles. Not a lot of muscles on the back of the body. If you think about your spine is all the way at the back. So most of the stuff in our body is on the front. And then we have sheets of muscles on the back of the body. The erector spinal muscles that are up and down the back. We have the big lats in the back of the body, the traps, all these muscles. Then we have the big glutes, the tushy muscles. So not as much in the back that there is in the front, but so important. That becomes your hanger and what helps to hold you upright. So notice right now, where do you feel the tension? Is it equal on both sides? Do you feel heat from muscular work? Does it feel appropriate? Did you work appropriately or ask for a little more? Or was that a little longer than you should have? Because that will determine how you approach your practice and what's the right amount for you. So let's take a break from the back for a second, go on to the side. Not that it's going to be any easier. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So the first option would be to do a balancing half moon. So balancing half moon is going to strengthen the side of your body. You're resting on that leg on the ground. If your wrists are not happy, you can come up into cupcake hands, making a cupcake shape with your hands. So that's an option. Or for those of you that want a little more intensity, we're going to come into side plank, Vasisthasana, and hold that for 3 breaths. Really hard, but this is a way for us to strengthen the side of the spine. So this is for spinal health as well from the side. So whatever variation you're going to come into, get ready. And let's enter the posture. From here, 3 breaths. When you finish your breaths, you come back to center, realign yourself, and then enter the next side, 3 breaths. And then bring yourself down. Come into a stretching your spine, bring your hands forward, bend your hip joint a lot. Bring yourself down, put your forehead onto the floor or a block. Come into a rest position here. Forward folding your hips, not your spine. Deep breaths. When you bring yourself up, bring your head up.
So I like to stretch the upper back muscles. We're gonna do something called a figure four. The intention of this is here's your hips, here's your heart. We're gonna try to rotate our heart, and the position of the hands, we're gonna be on the ground, but I wanna show you it from here. One hand will be up, one hand will thread through and try to twist the upper trunk, trying to turn the heart lights towards that arm. So that's the goal, is to try to get rotation here and lengthening the arm away, which is gonna stretch that upper back. So some of you may need to do this with a block. It may be more comfortable to do this with the block, and some of you will be able to do it on the ground. Okay, so you got to feel it in your body, but what's important is you don't have your body weight forward here. You want there to be a bend in your hips so your body weight is back. This is the fulcrum. You want the weight to be pushing back. That's going to help. You don't want weight in your head and neck. So come forward with your hands. Bring your hands straight out in front of you, and then take a hand. Let's do the same side so that it's easier for me to direct it. Right hand is forward, left palm is facing upward. Then slide the left hand to the right, bending your hips a little more so that your head can either rest on the ground or on the block, you decide. Use the right hand to push away from the ground, to lift the right elbow up, to open the right armpit, to push that left hand through. Push your left hand onto the ground. Feel that stretch in the upper back on the left side. Take one more breath. Bring yourself up. We're going to go the other side. So left hand goes forward, right palm is up, and then you slide the right hand over to the left. Let your head rest on the ground. Push away from the ground. Come onto your fingertips. Stretching the upper back and the right upper back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back. Bring yourself up. Noticing how you feel. We're going to sit again into the kneeling position. So up to you, block between your ankles or crisscross leg position, whatever you need to do. Let's free up any tension in the upper back and neck area. Take your hands on your shoulders. Let your arms go up and down. Feel that stretch. And now bring your arms down. Bring your shoulders forward. Really push your shoulders forward so you're moving the shoulder blades away from the center of the spine, stretching the upper back. Then you're going to start to let your elbows come up and let your chin follow. So you're adding a back bend to the upper spine, stretching the neck. When you can't go any farther, you let your elbows go out to the side. Head comes back to neutral, and then chin goes straight down to the chest. Stretch the neck. Feel the neck stretching. Inhale up. Exhale, chin to chest. Try to be as big as you could be with your shoulders, stretching as much as possible, letting the shoulder girdle stretch and move, and then let your torso stretch as well. So try to make this a really big movement. One more. Bring yourself back to center. Arm up, side to side. So now stretching the low back muscles, stretching the spine, the side of the body.
Let your hands come down into the ground and your hand go up. Try to bend your spine as much as you can here. Don't let this just be the head going side to side. Inhale up, exhale over. Slow it down. Inhale, exhale. Go really slow. You can make the whole inhale be up. You can make the whole exhale be coming down. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Bring yourself back. Take the tension out of the neck, side to side, up and to the side. So lift up and bend the neck. So you're bending your neck here, side to side. It's about the neck. Bring your head side to side, rotation. And bring yourself back to center. Teeth are together. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, chin up. Chin to chest. And chin up. And feel that stretch front and back of the neck. And then bring yourself back to center. Open your eyes, noticing how you feel, making sure that everything you're doing is appropriate. So let's go into a position. It's a lizard posture. When we come into the lizard, we're going to think about really releasing the low back and the glute area. So have your block here. Be on the back edge of your blanket. Bring your right leg forward. And then walk your right leg pretty far forward. Bring your body forward and let the right buttock move towards the ground. Bring your hands onto your block on the inside of your legs. So bring your hands on, try to bring yourself down. Let that right buttock release to the ground. So bring your awareness to the right tushy. Push the right tushy down towards the floor. Let that be like you're releasing it. Let it fall with gravity. Let that hip joint relax. Let the glute relax, the low back relax. Now take the right elbow, bring the right elbow down towards the block. Keep your head up, keep your front spine long. Don't round the front spine right by the lower ribs. Let the right glute move down. Bring the right elbow down. Exhale, and then inhale. Reach up, rotate your spine, exhale down. Reach up, exhale, elbow down. Up. Feel your torso stretch. One more. Bring yourself back to neutral. Bring yourself back up. Bring yourself out. Switch sides. Left leg comes forward. Block on the floor. Then bring your body forward and bring your awareness to your left hip. Let your left hip release. Bring your hands down onto a lizard position, so you're on the inside. And bring your awareness to the left. Let it be that the left hip is really releasing here. Notice how your low back feels, how your whole back feels.
But bring your awareness into your left hip, the front leg, and feel that hip joint and that glute falling towards the ground, releasing, melting. Bring the left elbow forward, front spine is long. Exhale, inhale up. Exhale. One more. Bring yourself back. Bring yourself up. Come all the way up to kneeling. Shake your arms. Shake your body. So we're going to stretch our hip. We're going to stretch it in kind of a variation of gate latch pose. So the block will be off to the side. Bring your foot to the side, and you're on all fours. From all fours, you bring your foot to the side. Bring your hands onto the ground underneath your shoulders, and then you're going to come forward and back. Forward and back. So your toes are pointing forward. Your foot that's out to the side is perpendicular to the leg, and you're moving forward and backwards, stretching the hip, maybe even low back, inner thighs, leg muscles. Noticing what you notice. And then come forward. Let's switch sides. Take the other foot out. Make it perpendicular so the foot is forward. And you're bringing your body forward and backwards. So you have your leg out to the side. You're on all fours, perpendicular, and you're just moving your body forward and backwards. Noticing for you where the stretch is, what feels appropriate. Maybe you feel it in your foot, maybe your ankle, maybe your inner thighs. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Come all the way out. Shake, shake, shake. So we're going to come down onto the ground, continue with the back of the body, doing some work on the ground. So take your blanket up to the top of the mat. Before you come down with your strap, put your strap into a loop. If it's not already, and if you don't have a loop, you could tie it when we're down. Come onto your side, bring yourself all the way down. Blanket underneath your head. Bring your knees into your chest, stretching the low back. Hold on underneath your hamstrings. Let your legs be wide, go back and forth. Massage your low back. Might be the relief you've been waiting for. And then put your feet on the ground. Get your strap. Put the strap through your legs.
and right to the top part of your thighs. A little space between your legs here. So we're gonna work on that posterior pelvic tilt, using our core to do it. So noticing the difference between the front of the body working and the back of the body. Blanket underneath your head is pretty thin, so if you've got it folded quite a bit, move it down a little. Let's let gravity help to stretch the front of the spine and the shoulders and work with posture. Pushing out on the strap, you're going to tilt your pelvis with your core. So you want your tushy to be soft. Even reach around and feel it, that it's not doing any of the work in order to flatten your low back into the floor. Push out on the strap, tilt backwards, flatten your low back. So we did all that back bending today, which put this lumbar spine in its extension curve, its home, even more so. This is adding flexion to the lumbar spine. So stretching the spine and stretching the back muscles, this could be nice and relieving after all the back bending we just did. When you push out on the strap, you're bringing the side hip muscles, the glutes to help. You may feel some of this in your muscles of your legs. Just notice what you notice. Use your core to do the work. And then release. Lift your feet up so you know you're decent distance from your body and you're in a neutral position. We're going to work the glutes here. Your hip joint is bent. We're going to unbend the hip joint. So I want you to close your eyes when you do this. I want you to think about your hips unbending and think about your tushy cheeks contracting to unbend your hip. Let the glutes be what unbends the hip. Push out on the strap. Bring your awareness to your tushy cheeks. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your tushy cheeks, squeeze them together, push your feet into the floor and unbend your hip joint with your tushy as hard as you can. Inhale to lower. Push out on the strap, squeeze your tushy, unbend your hips. Strong glutes helps with joint health in the hips, the knees, the spine. Really important. Squeeze the tushy, unbend your hips. You're only lifting the tushy off the floor to about the lower spine, to about the lower ribs. Don't lift any higher. Squeeze the tushy, lift. Next one, squeeze as much as you can. Push out on the strap as much as you can. Come up and hold. Use your fingers to feel that and those muscles active. Squeeze and push. And then go ahead and release. Take the strap off. Still staying with the glutes and the hamstrings and the lower part of the back of the body. Keep your feet where they are. Head is on the blanket. Squeeze your tushy. Push your feet into the floor. Unbend your hips. Stay here. Walk your feet so that they're body distance. We're going to do a marching bridge, trying to stabilize our trunk. Push one foot totally into the floor before you lift the other up. Close your eyes. What's happening to your pelvis when you do this? Squeeze your tushy like crazy. You're in a posterior tilt. So this is not going to the low back. You're lifting off the floor to about the lower ribs. And as you do a marching bridge, you feel the stability in your trunk that you're able to maintain. Slower, harder, and more advanced. So if you go slower, you're doing a more advanced variation. Strengthening your hip joint, your glutes, your spine. One more each side. And then bring yourself down. Bring your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. So using the lower muscles of the back of the body for posture and alignment and managing your body. Bring your feet onto the ground in a little, decent distance away from your body distance. Tilt your pelvis back so your low back flattens onto the ground. Squeeze your tushy cheeks. Push into the floor, push away from the floor, and unbend your hip. Push your left foot into the floor. Lift your right leg up. Don't let your hands and your upper body help. Push the left foot into the floor like crazy. Squeeze the left buttock. Push the left foot, squeeze the left tushy. One more breath. Bend the feet. Push the feet into the floor. Squeeze the right tushy cheek. Lift the left leg up. Don't let your hands help you. Squeeze that right buttock like crazy. One more breath. Both feet down. Bring your body down. Take your legs long, wide. Take your arms overhead. Couple of breaths here. Bend your knees. Take the strap, bring the strap on your feet. Take your feet a little wider than your body. Soles are up towards the sky. Let's stretch the back of the lower part of the body. Draw the strap back towards the wall behind you. Close your eyes. Feel this at the back of the legs. Feel it down to the glutes. And maybe even the low back if you're able to pull back a little farther. Knees could be bent. And see what happens if you straighten the legs. For those that can. Take one more breath. Bring your feet back. Take the strap off. Feet are in the air. Point, inhale, flex, exhale. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. And then circles. Go slow. Let your legs relax, your hips, relax your spine, relax your pelvis. Legs in the air, deeply roots the hips. Other direction. Let your head go side to side. Release that tension in the neck. Let your arms go in the air and shake. And then shake everything. Bringing yourself into Shavasana. Take your legs long. Let's let everything that happened today in the practice find its place in your body. Everything settle. Begin to deepen your breath. Feel it in your belly. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Moving your body, drawing your knees into your chest. Roll onto your side and push yourself up. Closing the practice with sound. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Push your hands to your heart to your hands. Long spine. Feel the back of your body. Let your pelvis be heavy. Spine is long. Let's close with a humming sound. Exhale. Inhale. Bringing your hand to your forehead, to your conscious section of your brain. From here, in gratitude, we bow. So notice how you feel after every practice you do. Today's practice, joint alignment, posture, which is going to help with balance, fall prevention,
future pain and suffering in joints, minimizing wear and tear and tears, not just wear and tear everywhere, but with tears, rotational cuff tears from that rounded position. So really keeping yourself nice and strong with the muscles of the back of your body. Oh, all right. How was that for you all? Good, Michael. That'll help with surfing. Hope you're still surfing. Okay, you're saying good title, and now I'm trying to think about what did I say that had to do with the title? What was I talking about? Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. All right. You're welcome, Carolyn. Great, Terry. Glad to have you here. Okay, good, Stevie. Helping with balance and confidence and fall prevention and being able to roam this beautiful planet every day, all day. Have a great day, everyone. I am off to do Saturday. All right. Have a great day. Bye.